We have a shocking Rockets trade proposal, as this is insane what Nick Wright is proposing that would have the Rockets landing another superstar to pair up with Kevin Durant and form the next NBA super team. We'll give you the trade details and all that Nick Wright had to say on the matter right here on Rockets Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. Before we get going today, just want to say I appreciate all the support, the likes, the comments, all of it. I cannot thank you enough. We're happy to have built a fun and loving Rockets community here on YouTube. We're going to keep pushing out content. We're going to keep going. We're going to have some live streams, some game streams, a lot more to come. We really do appreciate all y'all's support. Now for today's video. You're probably sitting here wondering, Jace, I saw the title, I saw the thumbnail, I had to click. What in the world did Nick Wright propose? Well, he says that the Rockets are not necessarily out of the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes even after they traded for Kevin Durant. Now, there was a point in time where it was very clear the Rockets were an either or. They were either going to get Giannis, they were either going to get KD, or go after one or the other. Obviously, they now have Kevin Durant, but now people are saying, and not just Nick Wright, I got a couple reports in here, saying that the Rockets are actually a very prime candidate for a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade, given that they paid pretty minimal for Kevin Durant, and they still have a lot to trade away. Now, let's talk about this trade because it is a crazy one that I don't know if I would make, but let's see it. This is Nick Wright's trade proposal for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Rockets, of course, would receive Giannis, and the Bucks would, in return, receive Fred VanVleet, who just signed to a 2-year contract, Reed Sheppard, and 5 first-round picks. Obviously, Nick Wright believes that Giannis is not out of play with Houston, even though they do have Kevin Durant now. Initial reactions on this trade, guys, leave them in the comments. I don't know that I'd do that trade. I got to be quite honest. I know that would be a huge thing to pair Giannis and KD together, but that's a lot to give up. 5 first-round picks. That's like a Shai Gilgeous trade with the Paul George and giving up all those picks. Like I don't know if I'd do that. But let's hear what Nick Wright has to say before we have our final opinions. Let's kind of talk about Nick Wright's opinion here. So he says this on his podcast, saying, quote, "They actually still, if he were to come available mid-season, might have the ability to still trade for Giannis," end quote. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. He is more stating that this is a mid-season trade. So Giannis right now is believed to have not, first of all, he's not requested a trade. That's confirmed. But supposedly he's also not on the trading block currently for Milwaukee. It's gone back and forth as whether he will be a tradable asset this offseason or if the Bucks are going to decide to keep him in Milwaukee. That's a big question. Now, let's continue on with what Nick Wright has to say, just to try and hear him out here. Here is the second part with a little bit more on the trade details. His podcast saying, quote, "You could make a trade if you're the Rockets where you are sending out Fred VanVleet, Reed Sheppard, Brooklyn's first in 2027, Phoenix's first in 2027, Dallas's first in 2029, Phoenix's first in 2029, and Houston's first in their own first in 2030. That's a lot of first-round picks, guys. That is a lot of first-round picks. And do I think Giannis and KD would for sure win a championship? 1,000%. However, do I think that Kevin Durant and the team that we have currently has a real good shot to win a championship? 1,000%. The way this works, though, is because Kevin Durant has stated that he is going to take less on his next contract, which means the Rockets' money is going to open up a little bit. Right now, they've got about $10 million in cap space. We've got another video coming out probably a little bit later on in the week. Jock Landale is actually supposedly going to be not on the Rockets. They're going to let go of him, which will create $8 million of cap space there. Obviously, the new contract with Kevin Durant could create some new cap space. So there is space where the Rockets could make money work. But I just keep going back to the Thunder, and I keep looking at them and seeing the trade that they made, in which they got all their first-round picks from the Clippers and Shai for Paul George going there. Now, Paul George and Giannis Antetokounmpo are different beasts. Giannis is way better than Paul George. And I think Paul George got 7 picks overall. I don't know if they were all first, but it was a ton. I don't know if I want to be linked to that. Like, if Giannis comes over here and does great and win a championship, that's great. But if he comes over here and it doesn't work out and things go awry, that would stink to give up that many first round picks. Now, Let's go to the last thing Nick Wright says here on his podcast, saying, quote, "Those are valuable prime first-round picks." Now, I don't think they're going to do that, but the point is, it's not like going for Durant. They punted on any chance of Giannis, and that's very useful, end quote. And I think if you're Rafael Stone, make up calls. There's no reason that a call has to lead to a trade, but there's a lot of people kind of saying this. Evan Sidery, a guy that we go to a lot, he also kind of put this out there saying if the Rockets desire, they still have the assets in place to take another huge win-now swing for a second star alongside Kevin Durant. If Durant takes less money on his contract, which is now expected to, it provides them flexibility to pull this off. Keep a close eye on Houston moving forward. Now, he doesn't state Giannis specifically, but there also are other big names at play here, like a Jalen Brown, maybe a Derek White. There's a couple of things that they could do to maybe make this work for the Houston Rockets and still have the future moving forward. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I feel, from what I'm hearing, that the Rockets are very, very, very comfortable with the team they have right now. And why not? Why would they not be? Like, if you look at Kevin Durant, just adding this guy to your team, having Fred VanVleet back, having a new and hopefully improved Jabari Smith next year, who will be back in the starting lineup, an Amen Thompson who is going to continue to grow, an Alperen Şengün who is now really kind of putting in his own twist on everything and becoming an all-star level center. You got to feel confident about your roster. However, at the same time, this is intriguing. These stats are intriguing. A double-double across the entire regular season in terms of points and rebounds. His assists are great. His field goal percentage is impeccable. This is tempting. 100% tempting. But again, if Giannis was traded to the Rockets for the package I just mentioned, Fred VanVleet, Reed Sheppard, 5 first-round picks, what does your starting 5 look like? You don't really have a guard. Is Amen Thompson your 1 at that point? Who's your 2? Cam Whitmore? Are you signing somebody and putting more money there? Now, Nick Wright did say this was a midseason trade, so maybe this is the Rockets finding somebody for a shooting guard and having them, and they don't need a VanVleet or a Reed Sheppard. And then who are your 3? You got a small and power forward combo of Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Are you kidding me? And then Alperen Şengün in the center. That would be the best 3-4-5 in the NBA's history. If you had Giannis, KD, and Alperen, there's no way any other 3 could beat that. In the history of basketball, there's no other 3 that could beat that. That would be absolutely insane. Now again, is this likely? I don't know. Yahoo Sports' Kevin O'Connor actually also discussed on this matter, and he agrees. He says, quote, "The Rockets still have enough assets to make a compelling offer for Giannis Antetokounmpo or Jalen Brown, or basically whoever they want to target, even after acquiring Kevin Durant," end quote. And the 2 things that I take away from this, and kind of my final thoughts on it all: do the Rockets have the assets available to go out there and make another splash? To go get another guy, go get a Jalen Brown, a Derek White, a big point guard, a big shooting guard, a Giannis? Sure, of course they do. The Rockets have put themselves in a perfect position to be at this exact moment. And Kevin Durant, thank goodness for him, basically made the deal for the Rockets better by, first of all, taking less money. He also, as we know from reports, kept declining trades, so the Rockets got the best deal on him. The Rockets have put themselves in a prime position where they do have that option. But there's also the other frame of mind, where you look at this team and say, okay, they have Kevin Durant. They have Alpi. Jabari is going to be great, especially learning under KD. Amen's going to come into his zone. Fred's back. I believe in Reed Sheppard. I believe in Cam Whitmore. We have Steven Adams back as our backup center, for goodness sake. And we've got 5 first-round picks over the next, whatever it is, from other teams. What if we just said dynasty time and try and grow the team we have right now? When KD does retire, we have those first-round picks that we're going to use from other teams so we can be good without having worry of, pushing our pick up. It would be a perfect storm to create a dynasty. So, the final question is this. Would you accept this trade? Is this a trade that you would accept? Let me know down in the comment section below. Once again, Giannis on the Rockets would be sick, but I don't know if I'd give up Reed Sheppard and Fred VanVleet with 5 first-round picks. That's a lot to give up. I personally am not making the trade. Maybe y'all have a different opinion in the comments section. And so, for that matter, go down there. Let me know. Get in the chat. We're always looking. We're always talking down there. I'm always trying to respond to kind of just making sure this is a community for Rockets fans. So get down there. Let's talk about it and see what y'all think about it. But yeah, it's an interesting concept, and it definitely is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just don't know if the Rockets would want to do that when they already have KD. Difference is KD is probably going to be a 3-4 year guy, whereas Giannis, he's 30 years old. He's a potential, 8-year, 9-year guy. There's levels, but I think KD can get us a championship with the team we have, and then we can build off that. And by the time KD retires, I may be a little biased, but I think Alperen Şengün will be, upwards to superstar level. I think Alan Thompson will be up there in superstar level. I think Jabari Smith Jr. will be in a very good place. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this Rockets team. And hey, if they make a couple calls on Giannis, we'll have you covered. We'll tell you the reports. We'll tell you what's going on inside the Rockets organization. But yeah, I think that does it for us here on Rockets Digest in this video. Once again, just want to say thank you for all the support on everything lately. Had our first live stream last night. If you missed it, we're going to have some more coming up, so be sure to stay tuned in for that. Hopefully some game streams coming in the future. A very exciting 2025-2026 season coming, and we're happy to be here covering it all for you from Game 1 to Game 82, and hopefully even into some playoff games, and hopefully a lot of them. That is it for us, though. We'll say peace out for now. See you next time here on Rockets Digest.